Hey guys, the meme cards for the expansion have descended into Uldum, and two cards in particular look remarkably difficult to use effectively, but very fun.
Who's up for an adventure?
For anyone who hasn't seen the other card reviews, let me just give a heads up that we do not use the normal 5-star rating for these reviews. Rather, we rate them based on whether or not they would fit into a current meta deck, so meta now, are likely to work in a deck when the expansion comes out, meta later, and most importantly, if they enable or inspire a crazy combo or meme deck, so meme deck worthy. For those of you without much time, there is a time code in the description below for quick reviews. For everyone else, let's get into the detailed reviews. Today's first card is Fishflinger, a 2-mana 3/2 neutral Murloc with a battle cry that adds a random Murloc to both players' hand. While it gives a Murloc to both players, you can typically use it better yourself, as you likely have a deck with a fair number of Murloc synergies. The stats on this are pretty good for 2 mana. There aren't a ton of amazing Murlocs in Standard at the moment, so it's likely this will get to see some play, filling in for some Murloc decks. For example, some versions of Murloc Shaman would consider running this, so it is meta now. And it will probably be meta later, unless too many high-quality Murlocs come out that this doesn't make the cut for Murloc decks. It may even fit into a deck which a later card in this review may help spawn. For meme worthiness, this almost makes the cut as a potential mill deck tool. It's not likely to be very effective, but you could try milling some of your opponent's cards with the new Shaman quest after completion, filling their hands with Murlocs. Though that could come back to bite you if they get some decent synergy from it. Mage could also try the same thing with their research project and this, and while it would be interesting, it doesn't quite make meme worthiness. Next up is the new rogue legendary, Anka the Buried, a 5/5 for 5, with a battle cry that changes each death rattle minion in your hand into a 1/1 that costs 1. She gives super discounts to your death rattles, meaning you can get insane value and pull off some bizarre combos. But as it's a one-of card, building completely around it may not be advised. A number of people have pointed out that this synergizes amazingly well with Mecha'thun and Myra's Unstable Element, as you can backstab Mecha'thun to finish him off yourself. Neither Tempo Rogue nor Hook Tusk Rogue would make very good use of this, so it's not meta now. However, this could bring Death Rattle Rogue back into the fray, as Necrium Blade, Myra Rot Spring, and Necrium Vial all have ways to help you get extra value out of the battlecry on cards like Cairn Bloodhoof, Mechanical Whelp, and maybe even Deranged Doctor. So yes, meta later. There will be all kinds of crazy things we can do with this. Even if Mecha'thun becomes meta, there will be other wacky ways to use this, so definitely meme-worthy. And now we see Paladin's huge Murloc synergy spell, the 8-mana Tip the Scales, which summons 7 Murlocs from your deck. This is a super draw through your deck card. It needs a lot of Murlocs to support it, but it may be worth running it just for how it pairs with Shirvala and Holy Wrath. If your deck is built for it, 2 of these alone will draw half your deck and discount Shirvala by 16 mana. In an aggro Murloc Paladin, getting this off a Prismatic Lens would be amazing. That being said, the current form of Holy Wrath Paladin wouldn't use this, and there isn't a current meta deck that uses Murlocs in Paladin, so not meta now. But the synergy with Holy Wrath and aggro options makes me think it may actually work its way into a combo or aggro deck, so yes, meta later. If the Holy Wrath version doesn't become meta, we'll definitely meme with it. And there have to be other shenanigans we can pull off with this card as well, so it earns a meme-worthy status. Hunters have some extra value coming in the form of Hunter's Pack, a 3-mana spell which adds a random Hunter Beast, Secret, and Weapon to their hand. The value is real. Hunter Beasts tend to be pretty powerful, most of the secrets are decent, and all of the weapons available at the moment are nice. Although the secret would be random instead of a discovered secret, for the extra value, this could actually replace a secret plan in a few versions of Secret Hunter at the moment. So we'll go ahead and call it meta now. This may still make the cut in Secret Hunter during the new meta, And if a Highlander Dino Tamer brand deck is able to make its way into the meta, this will almost certainly be included. We'll give it meta later status as well. Who knows, maybe we'll get another King Crush for our Dino Tamer brand King Crush hunting party meme deck out of this. But generally, this doesn't actually enable any crazy combos or memes, so we're not going to call it meme-worthy for now. And warriors have a new 3-mana 3/3 minion with a battle cry that allows them to summon a copy of a damage-friendly minion, the Bloodsworn Mercenary. The last card evoked a sense of value, but this one in warrior may be even better. Sadly, at 3 mana, it can't come out on the same turn as Grommash, but there are so many ways to use this to get insane value that it would certainly be included in decks during the new meta. But jumping back to the current meta for a moment, I don't know that this would find its way into a control or bomb warrior in the current meta. Dr. Boom Mad Genius, Archivist Elysiana, or a stacked Snip Snap are the only targets you would really get huge value from in a bomb warrior, and control warrior has fewer targets and cards they would consider replacing. Honestly, I don't think it would make the cut in the current meta decks. However, a deck built with Reborn or the new Taunt archetype in mind would definitely consider running this, as both are likely to get amazing value out of this. And traditionally, Warrior has been able to survive long enough to drop huge minions to take advantage of a battlecry like this. Frothing Berserkers, Inner Rage, Warpaths, and this for insane amounts of damage? Or extra copies of damaged Stegatron as massive mech bases to magnetize onto? It may take a while to figure out something truly spectacular, but this card definitely has meme-worthy potential. Warlocks have figured out a different way to use lackeys with the Evil Recruiter, a 3-mana 3/3 minion whose battlecry is to destroy a friendly lackey to summon a 5/5 demon. Here's the ugly demon. This is a powerful tempo play if you have a surviving lackey, but more likely it will come down on turn 4 together with a lackey. The only Warlock meta deck at the moment, if we ignore the win rate for Kibler's Plot Twist deck, is Zoo Warlock. It does typically run Evil Genius, and the massive tempo this could generate would probably merit including in this deck, so this is meta now. For Zoo Warlock and the possibility of more lackey generation and synergy cards being released, we'll go ahead and give this meta later status as well. In Standard at the moment, I don't see any massively broken combos or exciting experiments to conduct with this card at the moment, so it doesn't get meme deck worthy status. Warlocks also get Rift Cleaver, a 6-mana 7/5 with the battlecry Destroy a Minion. Your hero takes damage equal to its health. This is a similar effect to the Obliterate Death Knight card from the Lich King, but it comes with a 7/5 body. Zoo Warlock may consider running this as a finishing removal for an annoying taunt in the way of their swarm of minions hitting the opponent's face. Though at 6 mana, it's a bit expensive for a Zoo deck. However, as Zoo is typically able to get ahead on board and keep their health total fairly high, and a tool like this still generates some tempo for them, I think it would be meta now. It may fit into a Zoo deck for the above reasons, and if Warlock gets some healing for Standard, this would merit inclusion in other decks. However, as the power level of decks will likely increase with the expansion, and Zoo is just barely hanging on at the bottom of Tier 2, I'm not sure a Zoo deck, including this, would be able to compete in the new meta. If some viable healing is printed, this can probably be meta later, but without some additional support, I'm actually going to say this will not be meta later. So, does a deck have to be able to win to be meme deck worthy? I could see this going remarkably well in a self-destruct type of deck, but unless something is printed to give the battlecry effects of your cards to your opponent, which would totally work with this card and allow all kinds of shenanigans, I don't think this makes it into the meme deck worthy category. And Thief Rogue gets some support from the new 5-mana 3/5 with Rush, Bizarre Mugger, with the battlecry that adds a random minion from another class to your hand. When compared against Hinch Clan Burglar, this doesn't stand up so well. While it does have a meteor body and Rush, it's not a pirate, and the minion you get will be random rather than discovered. Also, it is a minion rather than a spell, meaning it doesn't combine with cards like Preparation and Gadgetzan Auctioneer, which Rogue typically likes to play. So it seems less desirable than Hinch Clan Burglar. That being said, it still activates Vendetta and gives you something to increase board presence. Class minions also tend to be a little bit better on average than the neutral minions, so this may see some play. This doesn't fit well into Hooktusk Rogue, and as it generates a random minion with unknown mana cost, Tempo Rogue would also shy away from it, so it's not meta now. However, if Thief Rogue gets a little more support, it may be able to climb into the meta ladder, and this card probably goes into that deck. As someone who loves playing Thief Rogue, I'm going to give this a hopeful meta later. With the number of bounce effects and double battlecry tools Rogue has, I can imagine, and will build, a deck focused on getting a bunch of minions out of this for the eventual high roll of getting a super powerful card such as Archmage Antonidas, Grom Hellscream, Houndmaster Shaw, or even Shudderwalk for insane value. It'll probably only work once in every 10 games or so, but we'll definitely meme with this. So, Blizzard apparently decided that Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron was not the only clearly meme card they wanted to print this expansion. They're also giving us the Desert Obelisk, a 5-mana 0/5, which reads, if you control 3 of these at the end of your turn, deal 5 damage to a random enemy. It's got quite the hurdle to overcome at 5 mana, and the payoff isn't spectacular, though you'll do 15 damage with 3 of these, and more if you're flooding the board. Freeze Mage might be the only deck that shivers a little bit at the thought of this card, as they should still get their damage even if it's frozen. But seriously, the only deck on ladder at the moment that could use this even semi-effectively is Pogo Rogue, which is hanging out below the meta in Tier 4. Whether they would be willing to use this instead of Pogo Hopper is another question. We're going to have to say it's not meta now. And sadly, given the difficulty of pulling this off, I don't see a meta deck forming around this later either. But this card screams meme deck. Even Rogue will have difficulty slowly building a board with this over 3 to 4 turns. 5 mana is just too much. And the whole time they're praying their opponent doesn't kill them before they get more in play. However, there is an overly complicated, peculiar combo you could do with Priest. First, you play one of these and use Unsleeping Soul on it. Unsleeping Soul is a 4-mana spell which silences a friendly minion, then summons a copy of it. Your opponent laughs at the idiocy and leaves them alone. Then you play the second copy, only getting 5 damage out of it since the other 2 are silenced, but your surviving 0/5 serves as a target for double Divine Favor and Inner Fire, technically allowing you to do 25 damage with your Desert Obelisks. And then your opponent kills you because you still didn't do enough damage to finish them off. Yeah, Emperor Thurician would make this so much easier. Honestly, I don't see an awesome combo just yet, but we'll figure something out. So let's try to meme on? Next up is the Tor Tolan Pilgrim, an 8-mana 5/5 for Mage with the battle cry, discover a copy of a spell in your deck and cast it with random targets. Now, if you build your deck with this in mind, it could actually be pretty powerful, giving a few extra board clears or freezes. And it could be a method to get Luna's Pocket Galaxy out more consistently. You probably won't be using Fireballs or Pyroblasts with this unless you're aiming for crazy video clips. Dragon Mage hardly plays any spells at the moment, but that might actually make this card more consistent in its effect. And each of the spells would be great, unless you cast Conjurer's Calling on an enemy minion. Cyclone Mage would not run this as they have too many targeted spells to make it reliable, though Freeze Mage might just like more freezes. As long as Conjurer's Calling and Fireball are the only targeted spells they run, they can always discover a third card they can rely on to act predictably. Honestly, I think at least Freeze Mage, and maybe even Dragon Mage, would consider running this. Due to the Discover aspect allowing you to avoid your targeted spells when it would be risky to have Conjurer's Calling cast, and the possibility of getting a few extra copies of it in hand, and some other massively powerful mage spells, especially with a more consistent Luna's Pocket Galaxy, I am sure this will be meta later. Too bad Scroll of Wonders has rotated to Wild. We'd be able to shuffle 30 random cast when drawn spells into our deck. But what I mentioned about Pyroblast earlier, that and the puzzle box of Yogg-Saron will be going into a deck together for even more RNG goodness. This will be fun. Mage also gets Arcane Flack Mage, a 2-mana 3/2 which deals 2 damage to all enemy minions after every secret you play with her out there. This is a powerful card which might just help resurrect Secret Mage. It will be very interesting with Splitting Image, as your opponent will have an extra hurdle to get her off the board. None of the current meta mage decks run secrets, and as you don't play a secret with Arcane Keysmith, it would not trigger her effect, so definitely not meta now. The power level of this card, and the card we'll cover next, make me think that yes, this will definitely make its way into a meta deck during the upcoming expansion. With the number of secrets and secret synergy cards available, it'll be fun to see if we can control the board and take out our opponent almost entirely with secrets and secret synergies. I'm seeing some interesting possibilities formulating here. And if Arcane Flack Mage wasn't enough to bring Secret Mage back, Cloud Prince gets to weigh in too. He's a 5-mana 4/4 with a battlecry that if you control a secret, you can deal 6 damage to anything. A conditional fireball on a 4/4 elemental for just 1 more mana? Not bad. It may prove challenging to keep secrets around long enough to activate this, but at least you can combo it with a secret on turn 8 if you need. For the current meta, this has the same issue as the previous card, meaning it's not meta now. However, the sheer power of this and Arcane Flack Mage mean that they will find a home in the upcoming meta. Again, an almost all secret synergy deck, which might even make use of this guy's elemental tag to draw more cards with Bonfire Elemental, is something we'll be trying out. It's rarely going to work out this smoothly, but imagine a turn 2 Arcane Flack Mage, a turn 3 Secret, a turn 4 Coin Cloud Prince, into a turn 5 Bonfire Elemental. The meme deck could actually just roll like clouds over its opponents. Too much. Moving on. While the last couple cards are likely to revive a unique archetype, I'm not sure this next card will fare as well. The Splitting Axe is a 4-mana 3/2 weapon for Shaman with a battlecry which summons copies of your totems. It'll be nice to get an extra copy of your Evil Totem, Manatide Totem, or even Nightmare Amalgam, but that cost. Ouch. Meta now? Nope. Just no. Meta later? It's so bad, it'll be a great meme deck card. And it'll fit perfectly into our self-sabotaging Totem Cruncher Lackey deck. Let's go. And we'll finish today's review with another neutral minion which may or may not be a strictly meme deck worthy card. The 1-mana 1/1 Moga Cultist has a battlecry that if your board is full of Moga Cultists, you sacrifice them all and summon Highkeeper Ra. Highkeeper Ra is this massive 20/20 which does 20 damage to all enemy minions at the end of your turn. You won't have to pay the 10 mana cost for the first copy of him unless your enemy saps him back into your hand, but wow, this is crazy. The first class that comes to mind which is likely to be able to pull off this combo is Rogue, with Tact Noswhisker and Togwaggle Scheme. It may even be possible to make 2 Highkeeper Raws if the first one wasn't enough. 20 damage isn't always enough to finish off your opponent, but 40 damage usually is. Warriors and Heal Druids might give him a run for his money though. Another class that might be able to pull this off would be Priest with the resurrection and copy mechanics, but that seems much less reliable and even more difficult to pull off. Tier 4 Pogo Rogue might be able to pull this off, but that's not quite meta, and there would be more effective builds. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be able to make meta status later either. But let me know what you think of the following setup, and if it could be made consistent enough to become meta. So hear me out. Besides double Togwaggle Scheme, the core cards would be Tack Noswhisker, this, and loads of card draw cards. Faceless Manipulator and Myra's Unstable Element may make their way in for good measure. Essentially, once you have a copy of Togwaggle Scheme with a fair number of charges, at least 7, and Tack Noswhisker, and your second Togwaggle Scheme in hand, you play Tack Noswhisker, then Moga Cultist, then your built-up Togwaggle Scheme. This fills your hand with Moga Cultists. If you received 8 copies, you can play 1 to avoid overdrawing. You kill off Tack into their board, or keep hitting them in the face for 6 if they refuse to play anything into him. Then you play out the 7 Moga Cultists, making Highkeeper Raw, and cast the second Togwaggle Scheme on him to get a number of him into your deck. Bonus points if you drew the rest of your deck with Myra's Unstable Element before playing the 7 Mogu Cultists out, as that will make every top deck into a 10 mana 20/20 that does 20 damage to all enemies. Even warriors will melt. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Okay, that's all the cards. Now for the quick reviews. Fishflinger is meta now and meta later, but not meme deck worthy. Anka the Buried is not meta now, but meta later, and definitely meme deck worthy. Tip the Scales is also not meta now, but meta later, and meme worthy. Hunter's Pack is meta now, meta later, but not meme worthy. Bloodsworn Mercenary is actually not meta now, but definitely meta later, and even meme deck worthy. Evil Recruiter is meta now, meta later, but not meme worthy. Rift Cleaver is likely meta now, not meta later, and not meme deck worthy. Bizarre Mugger is not meta now, but meta later, and meme worthy. Desert Obelisk is definitely not meta now, or later, but super meme worthy. Tor Tolan Pilgrim wins all categories. Arcane Flack Mage is not meta now, but meta later, and decently meme deck worthy. Cloud Prince is also not meta now, is meta later, and meme worthy. Splitting Axe is... nope. And Totem Cruncher, here we go. Mogu Cultist is not meta now, probably not meta later, but Kamehameha! Levels of meme worthy. And that's a wrap. Of course, this is a subjective review, but I'm making some pretty direct predictions. Let me know in the comments below if you think I missed something, you agree or disagree with something I said. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep exploring. See you!